How many times do you think La Llorona has cried overall?
It's gotta be more than 11.
Welcome to Probably Real, a podcast where we talk about our favorite conspiracy theories and cryptids.
Hi, I'm Aislinn J.
And I'm Trinity Amethyst.
Welcome to our fellow believers.
And welcome to our fellow skeptics. So, we have created a bad habit, Aislinn. And our bad habit is the fact that we keep recording like a day or two before Sunday.
Oh, yeah, the plan was, let's have like 2 episodes ready, just so that if something happens, we have time. We're good. But no.
No.
That's not how this works.
That worked for about 2 weeks, and then everything crumbled.
And now, here we are.
And here we are indeed.
Close to the day of release.
Way too close to the day of release. So, our cryptid today, Aislinn,
is La Llorona, and I'm extremely excited about this one. There's a heck ton of versions of this, so we're gonna go through a few of them.
Like the most common ones?
Yes. They all kind of follow the same thing, but, they all kind of follow the same format-ish, and I don't know, it's really good, and I'm honestly kind of terrified. But I'm scared of everything, so I can't say too much.
You are scared of pretty much everything under the sun.
I mean, never mind, I can't argue against that. So this is the story of La Llorona. She's also known as the Weeping Woman. It's a tale from Hispanic culture. Many variations exist, and it's such a classic.
It is. It's such a classic.
Such a classic.
Oh, who is this one recommended by, Aislinn?
Adam, thank you for recommending this one for us. Okay.
Now continue.
No. This is about a woman named Maria, and she was the most beautiful woman in town. In this version, she was recently widowed, and she worked really hard to raise her 2 children. She discovered a young Spanish rancher who was who was paying more attention to her. And then one day he invited her over to his house, and they always had dinners and stuff. And then the rancher confessed his love for the woman, and she said that they should get married.
Okay.
So she was really upset because he told her that, it was a problem because she had these 2 boys that she was raising, and that there would be an issue with, if they had kids, them growing up and what their inheritance is would be an issue. And so she went and took her 2 sons, and she led them to the river a bit by their house and everything, and just, they were playing around in the shallow end, and then she came in and she grabbed her kids, took them over to the deep end, and let go of them, leaving them to drown. So this was her idea of, the only way that she could truly be happy and, to get this rancher to love her back. So she went back to his house, and she was banging on his door and everything, and she told him, everything that she'd done, and of course he was horrified, like a normal person would be.
Understandably.
He went over to the priest to, tell him what happened, and then she was, wandering around, and she went back to the river, and she saw the bodies of her sons floating by, and so
no,
she basically, she lost her mind. She fell into the river, joining her 2 children, and now she cries softly every night wandering around the river. And yep, that's the first story of the crying woman.
Jeez. That's the one that I'm familiar with, so I'm curious as to the other ones.
This next one isn't too different, but I personally like it better.
Mm-hmm.
So, it starts with her falling in love with this guy who's richer than her. So, the guy's father didn't want them to get married because, status was very important. And so the guy built a little house for them to live in, and they ended up having 2 sons. And he was kind of like an entrepreneur, I guess. So he's going out, and he's always kind of going for days at a time. And every time he came back, he used to bring gifts, and he used to, be a really good guy to his little family that he had.
Mm-hmm.
And then slowly he just began to drift away from Maria. And so one day she's he just kind of left her. And so she was walking down the side of the river with her two boys, and suddenly his cart comes like down the street, and he stops to say hello to the two boys, completely ignoring Maria, like purposefully making it so he just made it painstakingly obvious that he was ignoring her. And guess what? He had another young woman with him, very wealthy and everything. And so he ended up driving off, you know, still smirking, like not even addressing her in the slightest, as if she wasn't even there. And so she threw her two sons into the river.
That doesn't seem like the best justified reaction.
I know. And after realizing what she'd done, she'd thrown herself into the river to be reunited, hopefully, and go up to heaven. But when she got to heaven's gates, she wasn't allowed in because she'd committed murder and suicide.
Like of her kids.
Yeah. And so she's now stuck in the realm between the living and the dead.
Oh, that's kind of a cool aspect.
Yeah, I like it more for whatever reason. And so she wanders around rivers looking for her lost kids.
So the pinnacle of all of these different versions is, you know, she was looking for her kids that she drowned.
So people are genuinely really, really terrified of her. Like, it's a lot of people, I read about them talking about how when they were little, even when they got older, like into high school, if someone mentioned her as they were by the river, like people would be very afraid and they'd get out of there, like...
Didn't want to jinx it.
No, yeah. I mean, I'd be afraid because they said that once you hear her, you basically...
Are doomed?
Yeah, as an adult,
Oh, no.
As an adult, you have a chance if you run away as soon as and as fast as you possibly can. But as a child, yeah, when she sees children,
she's just gotta nab them.
Usually little boys, right? She'll turn them around, and once she realizes that they're not her kid, she throws them into the river as well, and she murders them.
Oh my gosh, that's such a cool detail.
Don't say it's cool. She's murdering little kids out here.
Okay, no. I don't condone child murder, but
it
the
is
concept
interesting.
Of, like, you know, instead of just saying, oh, you know, she just nabs kids, it's like, oh, she's mad that you're not her kid.
Yeah, so I genuinely really loved learning about this one, and there's so much more.
Oh, yeah.
There was this one about her having, like, a horse head, and I was confused.
What?
Yeah, but I read into more on it, and I researched it, and everyone was like, what the heck? This is fake. Like, who put this story out there? Yeah, I was like...
Don't you touch her.
Yeah,
She's
I was
a classic.
like, this is a trash story or version of her.
It's interesting. These are my favorite types of folk tales and cryptids and legends and stuff, because, like, there's just so much, not because necessarily of their origin, but just because there's such an old story that is just like, everyone knows about La Llorona, you know?
Yeah.
Or if they don't, then they're not very cultured.
They're very living under a rock.
So it's just like, those ones I think are super interesting because they're like sort of the tip of the iceberg for the whole cryptid thing. Like, these are the stories that got me into this sort of stuff.
Classic stories. Goodness, I love them. They're so terrifying. So, how do you feel about it?
I just think it's fascinating, and I think it's such a well-rounded sort of story that I'm just like, yes.
Oh, it's so good. I like when you genuinely get afraid of a cryptid, you know that it's good.
Yeah. Oh man, Aislinn. Aislinn. Okay, imagine you're a little kid. You're asleep in your bed, and suddenly you hear crying outside your window. You are going to flip.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna
scarred.
Flip. That's it. That's the end. You're traumatized. You're done.
Yeah.
Congrats. No. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, it's so different. I mean, I know that I say, like, I'm afraid of Bigfoot, but I mean, I'm genuinely, like, terrified of La Llorona now.
Do you still count as a kid, do you think?
Oh, yeah, I'm only 17. Okay, I've got lots of life to live, hopefully. You know, like, I got a ways to go. I'm still a kid. I don't live on my own. I don't know how to do things.
Okay, so this conspiracy is called Project Bluebeam, and it was recommended to us by Samantha. And woof, this is quite the conspiracy theory.
All right, so on a scale of cow mutilation to lizard No, I shouldn't have used that.
Oh, that was good.
On a scale of cow mutilation to lizard people, how intense is this?
Probably right at lizard people.
If it really is, I'm gonna be shocked. Lizard people is the craziest thing I've heard.
If lizard people is a 10, Project Bluebeam's a 9.
Okay.
I'm so excited to share this with you. Okay, so...
Hit me with these facts. Pseudo facts. Or probably real facts. Makes that joke for the millionth time.
Oh yeah, so there's a lot in this conspiracy, like so much. So I'm just gonna cover what I can in the time I have, because woofa doofa. Okay, so Project Bluebeam is a theory proposed by Canadian journalist Serge Monast, who said that NASA was planning on using advanced technology to fool the world into bringing about a new age religion in order to essentially control the people and create a new world order. So, to sum up and say that in a bit of English, they think that NASA's trying to create like a massive religion worldwide in order to take over the world. And Project Bluebeam is the conspiracy theory about how they plan to do it.
This is the plan for NASA to take over the world.
This is NASA's secret plan in order to create a secret religion or a fake religion and take over the world.
They know the religion is fake.
NASA knows the religion is fake, yes.
Okay.
And here's how it goes. So, according to Bluebeam conspiracy theorist, there's 4 steps to this plan. So
how convenient. Only 4?
There's only 4, but they're pretty big. So
all right. I'm ready.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, let's dive right in. Step 1, they're going to create area-specific earthquakes around the globe to unearth fake quote-unquote new discoveries that would somehow manage to prove all other religions wrong. Because in order to create a worldwide new religion, they have to tear apart the other ones first.
Oh no!
Yeah, so they're gonna like unearth stuff and be like, I don't know what it could possibly be that would just like literally shatter every other religion.
Yeah, what does that mean?
There was no specifications.
How did they... Wait, okay, I'm already confused. So,
yeah,
specific area, like earthquakes?
Yeah, so they're gonna be like, okay.
How does that in any way correlate?
So, yeah, they're just gonna make area-specific earthquakes, and they're gonna plant fake stuff and be like, look, every religion is wrong.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Because NASA has that power. So that's step 1. So they're planting the seed of doubt in step 1.
Okay.
They want to make sure that people are open to receiving a new religion. So step 2 is where things start getting a little wild.
Like it wasn't already?
Oh, no, Aislinn. Okay, so step 2, NASA is going to shoot 3-dimensional holographic laser beams all over the planet. Based off of where these laser beams show up, they're supposed to create a holographic projection of whatever god is most common in the region, and the holographs will be able to speak every language. And then by the end of this like light show, they're going to merge into one big holograph of the Antichrist.
Oh no! Oh my goodness! Go on!
This whole thing is supposed to start leading people to chaos, you know? Because all of their gods just showed up in the air and were like, hey, hello. So step 3 is somehow sort of just as wild as step 2. Even though this one's a lot simpler and doesn't involve a worldwide light show. Step 3, NASA's gonna start using low-frequency radio waves to telepathically convince people that God is talking to them and that they can talk back. The Antichrist, mind you. And it's not really explained how this would work.
That's all the information they gave.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, NASA's gonna make it so people can talk to the fake God.
Excuse me? So, is it so that they believe in...
I guess? But I don't know. I was literally just thinking, I'm like, what is the point of this?
Yeah, why do you have to do that? If they've already been, like, traumatized, they're probably gonna be easily manipulated after that.
I guess this is their, way of manipulating them. Pick your poison, I guess.
Pick your poison?
NASA's poison is low-frequency radio wave telepathy. I don't know how they think radio waves are gonna...
I know. Since when do radio waves do that? I've never heard a radio wave in my life. Yeah, I'm like...
I think I read somewhere, too, when I was reading up on this. There's so much, and it's all over the place. But I think I read that they were convinced that every human had a particular radio frequency that
What?
That was their radio frequency.
What? Everyone personally has a different radio frequency?
Yes.
How are they going to take the time to figure out each person's frequency?
How are they going to take the time to create a giant laser light show that goes across the entire world and somehow speaks every language?
You know, they got connections, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, it's NASA, so whatever.
Help from aliens that they met on the moon? Oh, or did they even make it to the moon?
Well, the moon's not real, is
Yeah, they couldn't make it to the moon. It's not even freaking real.
There is no moon. Anyhoodle, the final step, step 4, is quite extensive. So, first, NASA is going to try to convince people that aliens are invading, like all the capitals of the world.
Oh.
Yeah, that's literally the end of that. I don't know why. But at the same time, they're also going to try to convince Christians that the rapture has happened by abducting a bunch of people. So, theorists, and here's my favorite bit, Aislinn. Theorists say that the thing people think are alien abductions, so you know all of those conspiracy theories about alien abductions, is actually just NASA practicing for their fake rapture.
Hey guys, test 368, let's kidnap this kid.
Hey, there's a guy on a bike. Nab him.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wait, that had like 5 steps in this 4th step.
Yeah, and that's not even the end of that step.
Oh.
It gets worse. Trust me. So, here's the actual last part of this final step, and it's after they abduct a bunch of people to freak the Christians out, I guess, they're somehow going to mix electronic, and keep in mind, up to this point, this has all been like, oh, just super advanced technology, you know? That falls apart here. So, they're going to mix electronic and supernatural forces, I guess, to possess every piece of technology through some microchip?
Is this Transformers we're talking about right now?
That's what it sounds like. That's what this is, yes. Yeah, because I'm not really sure what that would accomplish, but altogether this plan is supposed to just cause world chaos, and why they want to cause world chaos is because that'll force people to accept the new world order created by NASA and such.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow, NASA. Do
you think that there would be an easier way to get world domination than this?
I mean, that 4-part plan was 7 parts. This is crazier than the lizard people. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because the lizard people was somehow simpler than this.
Yeah, I can understand the lizard people so much better than I can understand this.
Yeah, this is pretty all over the place, but I mean, that's why people think there's mirrors on the moon, just because they're planning on bouncing lasers off of them.
Oh my gosh, for the freaking holograms.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yes.
Duh. What were we thinking? Why else would they be putting mirrors on the moon?
That is clearly the only reason to ever put mirrors on the moon. Dang us. So to tie this conspiracy theory up in a pretty little bow and basically convince all of these people that this is actually going to happen, the main conspiracy theorist, Serge Monast, in 1996, along with another conspiracy theorist that he worked with, they both died of heart attacks within a few weeks of each other, right? Like a couple years after they've been talking about this conspiracy theory.
Stop.
So, of course, people are like, this is super suspicious because they say neither of them had heart issues and that the deaths were too close together to be circumstance. So now, basically, instead of like having this guy live and just look like a crackpot, he had to go and die, and now everyone's like, he knew the truth. He was set up.
Yeah, oh my god.
They took him out. NASA took him out.
But listen, anytime anyone is, like, they've died, quote unquote, it's like, for actors, it's always overdose. For anyone else, it's heart attacks or cardiac
Oh my
arrest.
God.
Or tell me that I'm wrong. Like, this is...
No.
It's...
Wow. That's a really, really good point. I've never noticed that.
Oh, don't worry, I have.
Oh, clearly. Aislinn knows the truth, everyone.
I never thought that I'd actually become kind of a conspiracy theorist, but I've started questioning so many things that I shouldn't question.
Oh yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Why is the sky blue?
I'm telling ya, it's the government. They're just pumping things into the air.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Some people have connected chemtrails to this whole thing.
They have, because...
I don't even know what the connection would be.
Maybe the chemtrails make our radio frequency levels the same.
Oh,
so then
make it easier for them.
they can more easily, like, get inside all of our heads with their radio technology.
Man, if we had this radio technology, though, forget using it to rule the world. I just want it to just talk with people without having to put any effort into it.
Nice. You don't even have to move your mouth.
No, I could just lay there and just chat away.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine how good that would be, though, for, like, deaf people or people who can't, people who are mute? Like, that'd be a breakthrough.
Oh my gosh. And okay, but here's the question. Is it 1-to-1 telepathy, or can everyone hear your like, as if it was an out loud conversation?
That's an issue.
Yeah. Like, is this a mind reading thing, or is this more of just
am I
like
just talking to this one person, or
can someone scooch on in and be like, hello, I'd like to talk
Hi guys,
telepathically?
I hear you talking like freaking crazy people right now.
Hey, I can't hear my own thoughts over here, bud.
Can y'all quiet?
Oh, could you imagine how loud a high school class would be?
If we all had it, like, implanted in our brains.
These apparent microchips that are being implanted into every technology so that the spirits can possess them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I absolutely love this conspiracy.
I think it's one of my new favorites.
It's might be my favorite. No, I can't say that. It's close. It's a close, like, third.
I just want to see it. Like, I just want to see...
You want to see how this... But then we'll know.
Yeah.
You know?
Gosh, we can call it.
We'll be like, this isn't even real. Okay?
Oh, they'll arrest...
They'll... Oh my gosh, we're gonna be one of the people that they kidnap.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're talking about it right now. We're gonna die of heart attacks. You know, we're going to post this episode and the next day we're not going to show up at school and everyone's going to be like, oh, where did Aislinn and Trinity go? And the police are going to be like, oh, they died of heart attacks. Weird. Our close friends would know. Thank you for joining us on our podcast today. We hope you had fun or at least learned something new.
Our email is probablyrealpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, you can send us conspiracy theories or cryptids there. Both of the things we talked about today were listener suggested, and they were so good. Thank you so much. So yeah, if you want something on the show, hit us up.
Yeah, or you could also contact us at our Twitter at probrealpodcast.
Heck yeah, same thing. Send us a tweet or a DM or whatever.
Hit us up with these great conspiracy theories and
yes,
cryptids.
Please. Yum.
Yeah.
If you liked our show, leave us a review or a rating on iTunes, or if you're listening on YouTube or whatever, just give us a like on there because it really helps us, stay motivated, and it also helps for iTunes. It helps us climb up those YouTube algorithms.
Yeah, and a huge thank you to Elise for our theme music
As
we
always.
love so dearly.
It's very, very close to our hearts. You can find her stuff at HeyElise516 on Twitter or at her SoundCloud at Elise Haywood.
And remember,
steer clear of rivers.
And when NASA takes over, we'll know.
Good night.